of Nigeria. And the issue has to do with the ancestral land of the Tiv people that seem to have been possessed in recent times through various attacks, and the fact that they are languishing in IDP camps till date without any intervention. With your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I want to lay this petition before this honorable House.
Did you say Tivs in America?
The petition is from the Mutual Union of Tiv people in America. Yes, there's a very...
If they're in America, could they really be an interested party here? Do they really know what is exactly going on?
Okay, yes, they do, because they have their family members and their people here with them, and they're, as a pressure group, bringing this petition because they believe that they are also stakeholders.
Mr. I don't want to make a blanket statement regarding those who are in diaspora. If this petition is coming from those who are within the country, I believe it has a very good standing. But people living in America and then coming to lodge it now.
No, there are Nigerians who are not all resident there. Some of them are just studying. Some of them just went there to do courses.
No, if you say they are Nigerians, they are Nigerians. But I don't know if you have
Nigerian citizens.
If they have dual citizenship.
They don't have dual citizenship. They are all Nigerian citizens. That's why I said it's a union of an association, just like we have association of lawyers in other states who are from another.
Register with the Corporate Affairs of Nigeria.
Sorry?
Register with the Corporate Affairs of Nigeria.
Which one? The association I'm talking about?
Yes, all associations are registered with Corporate Affairs in Nigeria.
We can also begin to look at the fact that our Constitution, Section 40, does not stop any of us from freedom of association.
I'm not saying that. I'm not stopping that, but I'm saying if they are Nigerians and living in Nigeria are bringing issues, I agree. But somebody in America who is far away in this country.
Mr. Speaker, this is not the first time we have presented petitions, even from those who are not resident.
That is why the Speaker has to allow the petition to be laid until he's convinced. I'm not convinced that somebody from America should come here and then be laying issues in Nigeria. I'm not convinced.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, would you allow for the relevant committee to also look at it?
First, when you read the clause says, with the permission of the Speaker, it means that the Speaker is convinced of the issues raised and the local standing of the person talking.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, you know we have a diaspora department, even as a country, that handles issues with Nigerians in the diaspora. And we do not tell them that they are not resident in Nigeria. Abike Dabri, a very right honorable member of this House, superintends over that, and we handle the issues of Nigerians as long as they are Nigerian citizens, even in diaspora. So these are still Nigerian citizens with Nigerian passports who are sending a petition.
Maybe I will refer you to the functions of the Committee on Diaspora. If you go through that one, it has nothing relevant to what you are now presenting.
No, I'm not even talking about the committee. I'm saying...
No, you are referring me to so that I will understand. Yes, we agree. That even in the House here, we have Diaspora Committee.
Your concern seems
that is for, excuse me, that is for them if they have issues, for us to solve it for them. But out there, at their own comfort, I think they don't have this. The position.
So why do we bother about Nigerians in the diaspora then? Because why do we bother? Because we have a diaspora commission.
Please, I will not allow that petition to take.
Honorable Magbila, be guided.
Please.
Honorable Magbila, be guided.
I'm not convinced that we need to take that petition. Thank you.
Whip.
Honorable Magbila, be guided.
About what, Whip, sir?
Thank you.
All right, so interesting exchange. I know you would agree. I wonder what you felt, how you felt, listening to that play out, and some of the points that were raised. The Deputy Speaker says he wasn't convinced. And I'm wondering, is it a matter of conviction, on personal conviction? Is that what it takes before a petition is laid on the floor of the House of Representatives? So whatever officer is presiding has to be personally convinced? Shouldn't there be structures or laid down rules as to how these things play out? Just so you know, by the way, the people who are behind that, petition, insisting the herdsmen are renaming some of the communities that have been seized from IDPs. It's reported on the Punch this morning, and that story has the headline, herdsmen renaming Benue seized IDPs communities, US-based Nigerians claiming. So I want us to speak to my guest, but I have to take a break now. I do not want that conversation to be interrupted. So I'll take the commercial break now. And when I come back, I will have Barrister Gbangboshi on the line. And then we can, really dissect this issue. The stance of the Deputy Speaker, Abdullahi Wase, and that of Mark Miller, who is trying to lay that petition down. And then I have another question. If Mark Miller represents you, would you have been happy with the way that he laid out his points? Was that the best defense that he could have put up, for having a petition by part of his constituents heard on the floor of the House of Representatives? We'll get into that in just a moment, but first, let's break at this time.
Make the most of the new normal with Nokia smartphones. Stay connected to friends and family with phone calls and video chats for longer with a 2-day battery life. And capture the beauty around you, snapping and sharing crisp pictures. The Nokia 5.4, 3.4, and Nokia 1.4 make staying connected easier. Nokia smartphones, trusted, always secure, and built to last.
TV tún ti ṣe bẹ́bẹ́ o. Jígbé ni wọ́n wà pẹ̀lú rẹ̀. Jẹ̀gbádùn ẹ̀dínwó ìdá méjìlélọ́gbọ̀n lórí GoTV Max. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, tí o bá sanwó GoTV jọ̀ní fún ẹgbẹ̀rún méjìlénírínwó àti ọgọ́ta náírà. GoTV ó ṣàwọ́ sókè téńté lọ sí GoTV Max pẹ̀lú ìkànnì márùnléláàádọ́rin tàbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Abracadabra! Wọ́n máa jẹ̀gbádùn àwọn eré oníṣe India lórí Star Live, La Liga, eré bọ́ọ̀lù àfẹsẹ̀gbá, Premier League, àwọn ètò Big Brother Naija lóríṣiríṣi lórí Africa Magic, Nigerian Idol, BET, Cartoon Network àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ẹ̀dínwó tó dáa, ìfowópamọ́ tó bù àyà. Lóòótọ́, GoTV wà pẹ̀lú rẹ̀ digbí. Àwọn oníbàárà GoTV Max láti ọjọ́ kìíní oṣù kẹta ò ní ìpín nínú ìpolongo yìí o. Ìlànà àti àdéhùn wa ṣá o. GoTV nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀.
If only we could show you on radio our stylish new look. Amstel Malta. But since we can't, go to the nearest store to pick up some Amstel Malta. And for Team Fit fans, try the new Amstel Malta Ultra with no added sugar. New look Amstel Malta.
And new Amstel Malta Ultra with no added sugar. So good for you.
Amstel Malta. Be your best. You don't wait for life. You go to meet life. It's not about how many chances you get. It's what you do with what you've got. Morning after morning, cup after cup. Start strong, finish strong. With the stimulating aroma and rich, creamy taste of Nescafe 3-in-1. It all starts with a Nescafe.
Now, where's that the big malt? Today was just one of those days. Woke up by 5, made breakfast, went to work, did my job, then my Oga's work, then Oga's work, came home, made dinner, and now nothing can stop me from enjoying my rich, smooth, refreshing Dubic malt.
Enjoy the silky smooth taste of Dubic malt. Dubic malt, crown the moment.
Babes, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Ojere. See, now I'm just tired, my friend. I'm thinking of how we get to the market to buy food stuff and provision again. See, it's a big problem for me.
Are you really serious? Haven't you heard of Food Locker? A place where you can get all your food stuff and groceries affordably and without stress. In fact, you can sit at home, in your office, anywhere, and order everything you need at www.foodlocker.com.ng, and they will deliver right at your doorstep. They have yams, gari, meat, crayfish, oil, provisions, even pap ogi. Let me switch your belly safe. Their prices are so affordable and very comparable with market prices. You will even get farm fresh vegetables, chicken and fruits, and they also have continental products.
Please stop giving yourself problems. Just go to www.foodlocker.com.ng or download the Food Locker mobile app from Google Play Store and shop. They are headquartered in Ibadan and they deliver across many states.
This is good news. Thank you very much, my friend. You are a lifesaver. www.foodlocker.com.ng is the answer.
For further details, call 0903-178-7037. Food Locker. All your food stuff and groceries in one place.
It is time for celebration. 30 years busting with goodness. The challenge can never ever stop us. You can't underrate us. You can't underrate it. Busting with so much greatness. Enjoy our wonderful.
No, it's not an act. This is my life for all to see. In the bright lights, see blessings how they follow me. From small beginnings to big brother. From the chances I take to the inspiration I give others. I am a rapper, a singer, a winner. I am an icon. So when they turn the lights on, they see that I am Lakon.
Watch I Am Lakon, a brand new Showmax original reality series, only on Showmax.com.
Hey! Don't you think it's time to change that phone and step up to something bigger and better? Samsung has yet another exciting offer. You heard right. It's the Galaxy A71, A51, and A31 at a reduced price of 151,500 naira, 99,500 naira, and 86,000 naira respectively. That's not all. You also get 3,000 naira airtime when you buy the Galaxy A12, A02, and A02s. Hurry now. Offer valid while stock lasts. T's and C's apply.
Splash FM 105.5.
All right, thank you so much for being there. If you have just joined us, this is Splash 105.5 FM. It's 25 minutes past 8 a.m. And before going on a commercial break, I played you an audio from a video that was captured of the proceedings of the House of Representatives on Thursday, where the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, who was presiding on the day, rejected a petition that was being submitted by a member representing Gwe constituency in Benue State. And his reason specifically was that it was by Nigerians living in America, and seen as they are living abroad, they had no business being parties or submitting petitions on the happenings in Nigeria. As outrageous as that sounds, yes, it happened. Now, it is one thing to just, criticize that, but it's another to also get the understanding behind it. Is he right in any form? What does the Constitution say about that? Do Nigerians abroad have the right to put the petition across to the National Assembly, whether the Senate or the House of Reps, to, state their needs or what they hope the government will be doing in their states and in their different constituencies? That's what this conversation is going to be about this morning. And I have joining me today, Barrister Gbenga Bangboshe, who's on the line. Good morning to you, Barrister. Hello, Barrister. Hello? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Barrister, but I wasn't hearing you on the line. We'll try to do that again. I can see that the line was very active, but for some reason, we weren't hearing you. Let's try to make that call again and see if it's any better this time around. I'm really particularly interested in the constitutionality of this issue. Representative Abdullahi Wase is a 4-time representative in the House of Reps, so he's not a new person. Good morning, Barrister, are you there? Okay, so let's do this the other way now. Hello, Barrister?
I can hear you.
Great. Okay, we had to get an alternative. All right, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you're having a great start to your day.
Very well.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, then. So let's get to this. I know that you've seen this video.
Very well.
Okay, and you probably have watched it a couple of times. Let me put out my first question to you. Do Nigerians in the diaspora have a right to submit petitions on the floor of the National Assembly, or are they ineligible, as the Deputy Speaker postulated?
Well, there is absolutely nothing in the Constitution which precludes them from actually making their thoughts known on how their country is being governed and what we can do to actually make it better. You know, when I saw the video, I actually thought the Deputy Speaker, talking about Honorable Wase, was going to actually make reference to a rule in the House that actually, you know, precludes them. But he was unable to do so, which means what the power he exercised was completely discretionary.
Okay.
And I think, given the misgivings he expressed as to why he would not allow Honorable Bila to present the petition, they are completely baseless. And I think it goes on to show how insensitive our leaders are. For instance, the remittances that the people that live abroad, that they make to Nigeria, I'm not aware that Nigerian government is averse to it. But when it comes to actually making their thoughts known on what should be done to improve the governance of the country, I think what Honorable Wase did was completely wrong. And there is nothing in the Constitution to substantiate his position.
Okay, so it is baseless on the part of the Constitution. I mean, how is it, do you think, that a Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps for Nigeria, who himself is a 4-time member of the House, how possible is it that you think he doesn't know that it's outrageous to even think about something like that, not talk of saying it on the floor of the House?
Well, the reservations I have about how he conducted the entire proceeding was just not about him, but the entire House. Charity, I wouldn't know if you also noticed that nobody actually raised any eyebrow. I was expecting members of the House actually rose up in unison to actually condemn what he was saying, but nobody did. Even Honorable Bila was not very sure of his own position as well.
I was going to say that.
It is very important we understand that these people, the thrust of the petition was that people have been displaced from their ancestral homes and that they are languishing in internally displaced at IDP camps, and that the government is doing little or nothing to address their plight. But for Honorable Wase to now say that because these people are living, the people writing, the people whose petition was about to be presented are living abroad. They are living in the comfort of their houses and wherever they are working. But they have people in Nigeria. Some of their relatives are here. So they have every right, they have every locus to hear their views on what can be done to, address whatever problem we are having. So, you see, what I just think is it shows how insensitive these individuals are and the kind of people we have at the corridors of time. There is absolutely no ground. There is absolutely nothing legitimate about the reservations he expressed on why Honorable Bila should not present petition.
I'm even wondering, because one thing he kept saying over and over was that he wasn't convinced. The protocols of the House stated that it had to be done by his permission, and he's not giving his permission because personally he is not convinced. And it struck me because it would seem that all the power that he has is based on his personal conviction. Shouldn't there be guidelines as to how these things should go, and not based on personal discretion or feeling?
That was why I said earlier when he expressed his opposition to that petition being presented. I thought he was going to make a reference to a standing rule that this is what the rules actually say about it. But then Honorable Bula also made reference to the fact that petitions of that nature, they have presented it in the past, and that there is nothing stopping him from doing so. And all he had to say was that he had to be personally convinced. And the thing I asked, if that kind of power is discretionary, then on what basis would you say that people living abroad, because they are not living in Nigeria, because they are not residents in Nigeria, cannot hear their views on how Nigeria is being governed? I think it talks about the mental makeup, the intellectual acumen of these so-called leaders. Sincerely, it was made in a very bad taste, and I believe that the House, as an institution, would revisit it.
Yeah, I know that he was sitting in for Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila. So there's a possibility that this petition might be resubmitted again when Mr. Femi himself is the one presiding. But just as you've pointed out, this is an indication of the insensitivity of the part of people who are in the corridors of power, and especially so because the House of Representatives and the Senate usually pride themselves as those who represent the interests of ordinary Nigerians, you and I, in government, in the legislature. So whatever concerns or fears or, suggestions that we have as to how things should go or how we think things should go, we pass through them. And seeing the deputy speaker shut this down the way he did. If I were, thinking of putting a petition together and I see this, honestly, I don't think I'm going to have the courage to do that anymore. But how does this speak to the kind of representation that we get at the National Assembly?
Sincerely, I think it actually puts it on the spot. You remember that for a very long time, Nigerians have always expressed their misgivings and reservations about how the Nigerian legislators, be it at the Senate or Federal House of Representatives, are being overly pampered at the expense of the generality of the Nigerian people. And that there seems to be a disconnect between their representation and the true yearnings of the people. If there is anything that has brought this home, it was that episode between Honorable Wase and Igbila. Because if we are talking about people with relatives, people with wives, people with children, people with husbands in Nigeria, trying to say Nigeria as a country is not doing enough to alleviate the plight of a major component part of the country. And a representative, a very principal representative of the Nigerian people is saying, because this particular representation or petition is coming from people outside the shores of the country, then they have the right to actually hear their views. It shows you that these people are completely disconnected from what ordinary Nigeria is feeling, and that is why when we are complaining, they seem to be looking at the Nigerian people as people from Mars. So I think they should go a long way in also telling the Nigerian people that to actually get these individuals to change, will go beyond mere rhetoric. It will have to get practical. Because they have demonstrated. It is not just enough that any individual could exercise his power capriciously and in a way that you think does not make sense. But if we have an entire institution abetting, either directly or indirectly, what he was saying, then it tells you that what Wase actually said runs through the minds of most people in that house. Nobody raised any objection to what he was saying. Nobody actually rose up to counter his pronouncements. And they were all there sitting down. And we have people also, I want to believe that Honorable Bula was not the only person representing the chief people there.
Yes.
It goes to show that we still have a very long way to go, and that this representative democracy we say we are practicing, we are yet to really imbibe the teachings and tenets.
Well, to be fair, we do not know what happened after that moment. If somebody else stood up to speak in favor of what Honorable Wheeler was trying to...
What in the public domain is the fact. I have read a couple of write-ups on it by those who were present, and I don't think anybody actually voiced any contrary opinion. I stand to be corrected.
Okay. Something else that came up was the deputy speaker trying to ask if there were Nigerians with dual citizenship or not. Like, does it matter? So,
can you imagine that when these people make remittances to Nigeria in form of forex and all of that, I'm not sure such questions will be asked. That is a very insensitive remark. That if they have dual citizenship,
absolutely. I'm asking this question and I'm worried about it because I'm thinking this thing seems so basic. You and I can easily agree, on these things. And this is a House of Rep member who has been there at the National Assembly since 2007. This is the fourth time he's serving. If this is something that can come easily to you and I to easily say, they are Nigerians. It doesn't matter whether they're in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. They have a stake in what goes on in Nigeria. We can easily reach that conclusion. Why? I just can't understand how it could have been difficult for the deputy speaker to see that, perhaps for me, that is the biggest point of all of this. He is a parliamentarian. He is part of the people who put the laws together as far as Nigeria is concerned. So one would think that on issues that border on rights of Nigerians, whether living in Nigeria or abroad, they would have the most knowledge. And then to come out and exhibit such I don't know if it would be fair to call it ignorance, just completely baffles me.
Well, it shows that we put our last level forward. The dregs of the society are the ones that are representing us. The truth of the matter is, I'm sure you don't even have to be a lawyer. You don't even have to be an educated person to, have a good idea or a good grasp of what is right and what is wrong. But again, as I said, when you have been pampered for too long, you begin to lose some sense of reality, and that's what we are having. Now trying to censor people that can actually contribute to how this country should be governed.
Or maybe we're being too harsh on Honorable Wasi. Is there any scenario whatsoever where he could have been right?
Yeah, I don't think so, because the point is he actually put forward his reasons for making that decision of not allowing Dila to present his petition. And what he was saying was that those individuals that are responsible for sending the petition cannot sit in the comfort of their homes abroad and contributing to Nigerian
national
affairs.
Issues, yes.
That's absolutely nonsensical. Because, why do we have commissions on diaspora? Why do we actually get remittances from these individuals when they make their contributions? It does not make sense. The reason he gave, if there are other reasons, and we get to understand where he's coming from, maybe one's opinion will change. Maybe one's views on issues will vary. But given the reason he has expressed, there is absolutely no rational explanation to accept what he has said, sincerely. And that is why there is a public hue and cry about it, that people cannot venture opinions on Nigeria because they are living outside Nigeria.
So what would you expect Femi Gbajabiamila to do about this in this week? I know that was towards the end of last week that happened. Would you be expecting to see like a strong action or a strong statement by Femi Gbajabiamila, or you think it would just go in the normal way that every other thing goes?
Well, before answering that, the only other thing I could actually say, maybe there was, maybe Honorable Bula himself did not do the legwork before actually presenting the petition. Maybe there are some runs he could have made before presenting the floor of the House. But even if that were to be the case, then the way Wase handled it is not the appropriate manner. Yes, with the reservations that have been expressed by the generality of Nigerians and activists and everybody, I believe there will be a revisit of the issue. And I want to believe that the opinions of Nigerian people, even though they are residents outside this country, should not in any way be discountenanced on the basis of the fact that they are living outside Nigeria. So yes, I have no doubt that there will be a revisit of the issue, and that petition will be represented.
All right. Barrister Gbenga Gbangoshe, thank you so much for your insights on this. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's always enlightening to hear you speak on these issues. You know, I was hesitant at first because personally I was thinking perhaps there is a justification in the Constitution. All of us cannot be lawyers, so we cannot come and authoritatively say that what Honorable Wase did was wrong. But now I guess we can say authoritatively that what he did was baseless from the part of the Constitution. Now, if you're wondering what that petition that was trying to be put forward by Honorable Gila was, it was something that was put together by the Mutual, let me get that quickly. It is by the Mutual Union of Thieves in America. And they, in that petition, say that armed herdsmen have reportedly, repeatedly wreaked havoc on communities in 20 of the 23 local government areas of Benue State, massacring thousands of people, destroying communities, and often totally obliterating economic and cultural assets. Consequently, the association said hundreds of thousands of displaced families now occupy 27 IDP camps across the state, with many more cohabiting with relatives in unpalatable conditions. So they were seeking to bring this to the attention of the National Assembly so that some form of action will be taken. But that petition didn't even see the light of day because, as you heard in that audio, it was completely shut down. I have less than 2 minutes. I'm going to take a call or two at this point. Hear your comments. Please keep it as brief as possible, seeing as we're just trying to wrap things up here. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Chacha.
Hi, Ahmed. Good morning. Please, briefly, go ahead.
Good morning. I have not seen the video, but when you play that audio, I have to shake my head because of that. And I think that honorable lacks intelligent. I'm sorry to say that. And I think people from his constituency need to call the man. They need to call him back. Because it's sure that we have a lot of bunch of, confused and clueless people being among our lawmakers. Because I don't think someone like him ignore the message and either deal with the messengers. We are talking about people. When our president travel abroad, he normally have this meeting with people in diaspora and ask about what they want from Nigeria. You can't just tell me that because I live abroad, I didn't have anything to say about people that terrorizing my family in Nigeria or my father's house in Nigeria.
All right. Sorry about that, Ahmed. But thank you. I think you made your point and you made it quite clearly. Even the president is interested in what people in diaspora have to say when he travels abroad. Yeah. So on what basis, really? Good morning.
Good morning. You see, you seem to think too much about political office holder. One thing with us in Nigeria is when they get to the saddle of power, they think they own Nigeria. And that is the typical example of what you have seen in that man. The arrogance of office. The mind of we are here. The mind of Nigeria is in our pocket. They look at all other people as fools. But the truth of the matter is Nigeria does not belong to them. Nigeria belongs to all of us.
Absolutely.
That you are governor, that you are a senator, that you are a member of House of Assembly, that you are the president of Nigeria, does not make Nigeria your own. Nigeria is our Nigeria. And all of us should collectively come together to build this nation. That is what our politicians don't understand. Go to them in their offices to share idea with them. It's as if you have come to take their office. They are a bunch of arrogant people. That is what you have seen in that video. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Reverend. I guess that's a good way to wrap it all up. Very passionate words, but true. I mean, a lot of us would totally agree with that submission. Well, we'll wait to see how the House leadership, the main speaker, reacts to it, if there's any reaction to follow. But it was disheartening to watch, I have to say. Really, really disappointing development from the House of Representatives. perspectives. And that's our show for this morning. We have to go now. Thank you for being a part of it and for joining us this morning. The Morning Splash continues tomorrow. Ronnie is going to be here, as always, from 6:30 to 9. We have some commercials to play for you. And then at 9 a.m. today, Tiffin Tedo will be up. My name is Charity Jerome. Enjoy the rest of your week.
It is time for celebration. 30 years busting we good.